Two epic battles, two legendary franchises. One, a chaotic maelstrom of mud and blood. The other, a rain-soaked siege of mythic proportions. Today, we're re-diving deep into the heart of fantasy warfare to answer the question, which is the greatest on-screen battle of all time? It's the Battle of the Bastards versus the Battle of Helm's Deep. Let's start by setting the stage. In the red corner, we have Game of Thrones Season 6. Jon Snow, the brooding bastard of Winterfell, faces off against the sadistic Ramsay Bolton in a desperate bid to reclaim his ancestral home. The stakes: personal revenge, family, honor, and the very soul of the North. In the blue corner stands the two towers' crowning achievement. Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli make their last stand at Helm's Deep, defending the people of Rohan against an endless tide of Uruk. At stake, the survival of an entire kingdom and, potentially, the fate of Middle-earth itself. When it comes to sheer scale, Helm's Deep takes an early lead. 10,000 Uruk-hai besieging a fortress defended by a mere 300. That's the stuff of legend. But don't count out the bastards just yet. What it lacks in numbers, it makes up for in raw, emotional weight. Jon isn't just fighting for a castle, he's fighting for his identity, his family, and everything he's ever known. And the desperate cries of men fighting for their lives. Wide shots capture the sheer scale of the Uruk-hai army, while intimate close-ups show the fear and determination on our heroes' faces. It feels less like a battle and more like a force of nature. Unstoppable, inevitable, almost biblical in its grandeur. Bastards throws you into the mud and makes you feel every punch. Helm's Deep pulls back, letting you marvel at the epic scope of it all. Both are brilliant in their own right. It just depends on whether you prefer your battles up close and personal or sweeping and legendary. But a great battle isn't just about how it looks. It's about the strategy behind it. And here's where things get interesting. Jon Snow, bless his heart, but strategy isn't exactly his strong suit. He charges headlong into Ramsay's trap, nearly getting himself and his entire army wiped out in the process. The battle devolves into a chaotic pile of bodies, with Jon barely staying alive through sheer luck and plot armor. Helm's Deep, though. Now that's a proper siege. We've got a defensible fortress, clear chains of command, and leaders making real-time tactical decisions. Aragorn aren't just swinging swords. They're positioning archers, reinforcing weak points, and adapting to the enemy's moves. And let's not forget Gandalf's perfectly timed cavalry charge at dawn. That's the kind of moment military historians dream about. If you're looking for a textbook example of medieval warfare, Helm's Deep is your winner. But if you want to see the brutal, messy reality of combat, Bastards delivers in spades. Of course, all the tactics in the world don't matter if we don't care about the characters. We feel every moment of Jon's desperation as he's nearly trampled to death. We cheer for Tormund as he fights tooth and nail for survival. And that final shot of Sansa's cold smile as she watches Ramsay meet his gruesome end. Chills every time. Helm's Deep gives us plenty of heroic moments. Legolas surfing downstairs on a shield, Gimli and Legolas's kill count competition, Aragorn's rousing speech to the elven archers. But it's more about the spectacle than deep character development. These are archetypes performing legendary deeds, not flawed individuals fighting for their lives. So if raw emotion is what you're after, Battle of the Bastards takes the crown. But if you prefer your heroes larger than life, Helm's Deep delivers. Now, let's talk about the unsung hero of any great battle scene, the soundtrack. Musically, there's no contest. Helm's Deep wins this round hands down. But a truly great battle isn't just about what happens on screen. It's about the impact it leaves on pop culture. Helm's Deep set the standard for fantasy warfare. It influenced everything from video game design to how later films approached large-scale conflicts. Nearly 2 decades later, it's still the measuring stick against which all other fantasy battles are judged. Battle of the Bastards, though. It proved that television could go toe-to-toe with Hollywood blockbusters. It won an Emmy. It pushed the boundaries of what was possible on a TV budget, and it brought a new level of gritty realism to fantasy combat that we still feel in the effects of today. Both battles changed the game in their own way. Helm's Deep inspired a generation of creators. Bastards raised the bar for what television could achieve. So, after all that, which battle reigns supreme? If you're looking for raw, visceral emotion, boots on the ground realism, and the pinnacle of modern television filmmaking, Battle of the Bastards is your champion. It's a punch to the gut that leaves you breathless and shocked. But if you want scalar, classic fantasy heroism, and the kind of battle that feels like it could have sprung from the pages of ancient myth, Helm's Deep still wears the crown. It's the battle that launched 1,000 imitators, and for good reason. In the end, though, maybe the real winners are us, the viewers, because these two battles, different as they are, represent the absolute pinnacle of fantasy storytelling on screen. One shows us the brutal reality of medieval combat. The other lets us lose ourselves in a world of legendary heroes and epic deeds. Both are unforgettable in their own way. So whether you prefer your battles muddy and desperate or rain-soaked and glorious, one thing's for certain: we're living in a golden age of on-screen fantasy warfare, and that's a fight we should all be grateful to witness. Now it's your turn. Which battle do you think deserves the title of greatest fantasy conflict ever filmed? Is it the gritty realism of Battle of the Bastards, or the epic grandeur of Helm's Deep? Let us know in the comments below. And if you love diving deep into legendary showdowns like this one, don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic comparisons. The war for fantasy supremacy rages on, and we'll be here to break down every glorious moment. And please leave your comment, what is your favorite battle all times?